Okay, good afternoon, class. So, ako pala si Ma'am Jules. Ako ang inyong giging teacher sa Business Mathematics. So, ginawa ko tong video na to for you to understand fully the key concepts of ratio and proportion. Didiscuss ko dito kung ano ba ang ratio and proportion. Okay, so, dun muna tayo sa ratio. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng ratio? Sinabi natin kasing ratio, okay, ito yung bilang sa isang set. And then, i-compare mo to other set. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng ratio. So, tingnan natin we talk about ratio kasi. Sabi dito, sabi sa matrix span, ratio shows the relative sizes of two or more values. Diba? So, yun na sinasabi ko na ito yung bilang sa isang set compared to other set. Okay, example niyan, okay, kung makikita niyo dito, okay, we have one boy and 3 girls. Okay, so sabi niya dito, using the colon, separate example value. So, 1:3. For every one boy, there are 3 girls. So, that is the sentence nun. Yan. Or pwede namang 1/4 are boys and 3/4 are girls. Kung we're talking about whole, kung fractions. Okay. Pag decimal naman, we're talking about 0.25 are boys. Okay, bakit? Because you're dividing 1 by 4. Okay. So, kung naman percentage naman ang aanhin natin, we have 25% are boys or 0.25 as percentage. So, di ba, yan yung pinag-usapan natin before doon sa nakaraang module ninyo. So, that's ratio. Okay. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na part to part at saka part to whole. Paano ba yung part to part at saka part to whole? Okay. So pag sinabing part to part, okay, part to part, ibig sabihin, for example, ay, example, meron sa isang klase, may 45 students. So, ang 20 dito ay babae, ang 25 ay lalaki. So, kukunin ang ratio. Okay, kukunin ang ratio. Okay. So, magiging ratio natin ay so, pag naging ratio natin ay part to part, kung 45 yan, so meron tayong 20 is to 25. Okay. So, there are 20 girls to 25 boys. So, 20-25 yan. So, yun yung part to part. So, pwede din naman maging baligtad, 25 tsaka 20. Okay. Yan yung part to part. Kapag naman part to whole, okay, we're pertaining to the total at saka yung yung part, yung isang part. Okay, for example, 20 is to 45. Okay, so may 20 babae sa 45 na klase, sa 45 na students. So, pwede ring 25 is to 45. So, may 25 na lalaki sa 45 na estudyante. So, kung makikita ninyo guys, lahat yan ay divisible by 5. So, pwede mo yang paliitan ng ratio. So, dahil they are divisible by 5, so, mangyayari ay 5 times 4, and then 5 times 5. Okay, di ba? So, kakancel mo yung 5. So, ang susunod na ratio mo na ay 4 is to 5. Okay, it's just the same with 20 is to 25. So, ganun din yon, kakabaligtad lang, 5 is to 4. Dito naman, okay, dahil 20, 5 times 4, and then 45, so 5 times 9, cancel mo to, okay? So, magiging 4 is to 9, or this one ay dahil 5 times 5 yan, and then 5 times 9, okay, this will be 5 is to 9. So, yan yung ratio niya, pinalit na ratio. So, that is the difference between part to part. Tapos ito naman ay part to whole. Okay, this is part to whole. So, yan po yun. So, that's the difference between part to part tsaka part to whole. Okay. Okay. Next naman is we discuss about proportion. Alam na natin ang ratio. So, ngayon, ano naman ang proportion? A proportion is a statement that two ratios are equal. Okay. So, kung makikita mo, we have two ratios, which is dito, A is to B and C is to D. So, kapag equal yan, kung ano ang total ng A is to B mo at saka ng C is to D, pag naging, kung ang total nila ay pareho ay 5, those are proportion. Kapag naman hindi, siyempre that's proportion yon. But, let's discuss, okay, about some technical terms, no? So, ngayon, the four numbers in a proportion, okay, ang tawag natin doon ay terms, which is A, B, C, and D. So, A is the first term, the B, okay, is the second term, C is the third term, and D is the fourth term. Okay, kung titingnan natin dito, okay, tingnan natin ha. Okay, try natin. So, kung meron tayong A over B is proportion to B to D, okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, pareho lang po ang ito. Sorry. This is C. Okay, this is C. Okay. So, pareho lang po yan. And this one. Okay. So, kapag kinross multiply mo yan, okay, ang tawag natin dyan ay extremes. So, that is the first and the fourth. So, extremes po yan. Pag kinross multiplication yan, ang tawag dyan ay the means. Okay. So, kung titignan nyo po dito, the second and third are called the means. The first and the fourth are called extremes. Okay. So, let's go back here. So, ito po yung means. So, ngayon, bakit kailangan mong malaman ang means and extremes? So, in that way, you should know how to multiply para makuha mo yung sagot, ang total. Sabi dito, sa lesson natin, kapag minultiply mo si 5 times 12, okay, at saka si 10 times 6, ang magiging total niyan ay 60. Ganun, so, kapag nakuha mo yung total na 60 sa parehong extreme, at saka ng means at parehong 60 yon, so it means proportion siya. So that is the meaning of proportion. So sa next discussion natin, we will discuss the other fundamental property of proportions. Okay? So dun i-discuss natin yung mga type of proportions. So but before that, okay, tingnan muna natin yung fundamental property of proportions. Okay. In any proportion, the product of the mean is equal to the product of the extremes. Always remember, okay, the product of the mean is equal to the product of the extreme. So kapag kinross product mo siya, it's always the same yung sagot. Example, this one, 7 times 16 is equals to 8 times 14. That is 112 is equals to 112. So equal sila. So this one naman, for example, 8 over 10 and 8 and 22, proportion ba yan? Of course not. Pag kinompute mo, 8 times 22 is equals to 176, while 10 times 18 is equals to 180. So since 176 is not equal to 180, so they are not proportion. So it should be same ang iyong sagot para maging proportion. And then, kapag naman hahanapin mo naman the missing factor or the missing term, okay? So example, gawin natin the missing term. Okay, for example, sa example natin ay 7, 8. 7 is to 8. Okay? The missing is yung numerator niya. It's the n is to 16. So how will we compute this one? So, syempre, unahin nyo muna si extreme. 7 times 16. Okay? So, 7 times 16 equals, tapos times mo to, 8n. Okay. So, you divide 8 para ma-cancel yan. Then, you divide 8. So, computein mo, 7 times 16, ilan? So, ano sagot natin dyan? Okay. So, ang sagot natin ay ano? So, 7 times 16 is 112 divided by 8. Okay, your answer will be what? Divided by 8. So, your answer is 14. So, 14 ang nawawala mo na n. This is 14. So, pag minultiply mo to, 8 times 14, magiging 112 yan. So, 112 is equals to 112. So, that is proportion. Doon mo kukunin kapag nawawala yung isang term. So, you need to cross-multiply. So, the next lesson naman is ito yung types of proportion. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung types of proportion. Okay. So, tingnan natin kung paano natin masasabing proportion siya. That we are, this is a number 1 example natin. Ituloy natin ha, sa table. So, doon sa una, sabi natin, 3 is to 9. So, 1 over 3 ang nakuha niya. So, tingnan natin kung doon sa matitira pa 4 is to 12, 5 is to 15, 7 is to 21 ay, makukuha natin ay 1 is to 3. So, compute po natin ha. Okay. Sorry, medyo nabalag ang laptop ko. So, tingnan natin. Sa 4, okay, is to 12. Natin. So, 4 divided by 4. So, we have 1. Doon pa lang malalaman mo na 1 na siya. 12 divided by 4. Okay. We have 3. Diba, same lang, proportion siya. So, natin sa 5 over 50. We have 3 there. So, 7. So, same lang. So, ang tawag natin doon ay direct proportion. Okay, so how about naman indirect or inverse? Okay. So indirect or inverse, okay, ito, explain na lang natin. Okay. State whether x and y are inversely proportional or not in the following table. So, wala ka makikitang 1 dyan. You just multiply the x and the y. So, 8 times 32 to 56. And then 16 times 16, okay, to 56 then. 32 times 8 to 56. And then 4 times 64 to 56 then. And 256 times 1, 256 then. So, lahat ng product ng x tsaka ng y, kada column, okay? So, makikita mo ay, the same with 256. Therefore, x and y vary inversely. So, kahit, yung kanina kasi, laging dapat ang numerator mo ay 1. Diba? So, ngayon dito naman ay, kahit pagbalik-balik pa rin mo, numerator or denominator, kapag kinompute mo, equal pa rin siya sa 256. So, lagi dapat ang equal ng number mo ay same pa din. Hindi lang 256 na sagot baka 56 ang hanapin ninyo. Siyempre, yung sagot niyo, for example, kung ang sagot ay 15, so laging 15 yon. So, depende na sa makuha niyo sagot. Okay, so next naman is the partitive proportion. Okay, a whole is divided into more than 2 parts. Ano yan? Kung 4 ang anak mo, sabi dito meron kasing dito, sabi, partitive proportion involves identifying parts of a whole based on given ratios of these parts. For example, a father wants to leave 467,500 to his 4 children in the ratio of 1:3:3:4. Siguro maiisip nyo, bakit ganun hindi pantay ang pagkakahati? Hindi nilang tigo 1/4. Diba? So, syempre, respect natin yung tatay, gusto niya ganun ng proportion. Siguro, tingnan natin, paano mo ba makukuha ang denominator nun? So, you add those ratio, 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, so, equals 11. So, ang denominator mo ay 11. So, magiging sagot mo ay the first child will receive 1:11 of, diba? Of 467,500. So, yun. Yun yung unang child, and then the second child will receive 3:11 of 467,500, and the third child will receive 3:11 of 467,500, and the fourth child will receive 4:11 of 467,500. So, ganun po yung partitive proportion. So, you are more than 2 proportions siya. So, i-ano mo siya, hahatiin mo. So, the whole is divided into more than 2 parts. So, those are the three types of variation of proportion. So, tingnan natin kung ito po yung activities na gagawin ninyo. Okay? So, we have the true or false. Ayan. Sabihin nyo kung direct, proportional, or inversely proportional. And then, ito gusto kong paalala sa inyo, class. A proportion is a statement of equality between two ratios. Laging tatandaan yan. Each of the four numbers in a proportion is called a term of the proportion. Always remember, the first and fourth terms are called the extremes, and the second and third term are called the means. So we have types of proportion. Okay, number one, we have the direct proportion. Two variables, say x and y, varying such that x increases and y is also increases, or as x decreases or y also decreases. So always remember, proportionally, that's the ratio xy always the same. Okay, so lagi merong proportion siya within sa 1. So lagi siyang kapag dinivide mo siya. And next, we have the indirect inverse. Two variables, say x and y, varying such that as x increases, y decreases, or as x decreases, y increases proportionally. So that is the product of x and y is always the same. So kahit mamataas ang x, mababa ang y, okay, kahit kung sino yung mataas numerator or denominator, kung sino mataas sa kanila, pero kapag kinompute mo yun, laging yun pa rin ang sagot. Kung apat na x and y yun, kailangan kung 12 ang sagot, 12 din yun. 12 lagi. Kahit na mataas yung numerator or mababa yung denominator. So number 2 naman, we have the partitive proportion. A whole is divided into more than two parts. So tandaan nyo, in order for you to compute the partitive proportion, so you add the ratio. Kung 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 3, so add nyo yun. 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 3, 1 is to 2, 3 na yun, plus 2, okay, 5, plus 3, 8, so over 8 yung denominator mo na. Okay. So, sana naintindihan nyo. Okay? Sana may naunawaan kayo at nabigyan ko ng justisya or nabigyan ko ng maganda explanation. So, if ever na meron kayong questions on your module, you can PM me or direct message me. Okay, so the next na sasagutin nyo, check your understanding. Ayan. Then you have your post-test. And then you have your reflective learning sheet. Ayan, nandito din yan. Okay, and those are the references. So, meron diyang pre-test. So, sa ganun, pre-test, okay? And then, yung sinasabi nga nating the activities, and then after the activities, you have the check your understanding, and then the post-test. So, yun yung sasagutan yung class. So, sana may naintindihan kayo sa discussion. Okay, so sana po may natutunan kayo regarding key concepts of ratio and proportion. So, ito po si Ma'am Jules. I-like and subscribe po ang ating YouTube channel. And hit the button para at least kung may mga bago ako mga upload ay manonotify po kayo. So, sana hanggang sa susunod po. Bye-bye po.